No matter how well you follow your diet or fitness routine, there is usually some cheating and lying involved. Now, most of us have tried at least one quick fix to drop weight for good. Fasting or eliminating certain foods and nutrients from our diet, only to gain the weight back, often packing on even more pounds. Is there a surefire way to lose weight and ditch diets and exercise forever? You may not know the word bariatric, but you will know of people who have had this weight loss treatment. Remember when Fern Britton had a gastric band fitted and dramatically lost weight? Now that was down to her gastric band, a bariatric operation. Today I have with us Robert from National Slimming and Cosmetic Clinics and Andy Kemp from Gateway Health. Now if we start with you, Andy, with regards to, there's some great headlines which you've probably seen in the papers yourself. Britons are the fattest in Europe, and that was in the Mirror on the 27th of the 3rd in 2010. Other ones are obese patients fill up hospitals, obesity warning, and then another one was obesity understanding the UK epidemic, which was in The Guardian, and finally, a couple of years ago, Fat Britain. Do we have a problem with obesity in this country, do you think?
We do. Obesity is a problem that comes from basically poor diet and exercise. It is a simple calculation. Calories in, calories out. More calories in than out, then you put weight on. It's quite simple. What's difficult is how to redress that balance. And if children learn bad habits as they're growing up, and they think that fast food is a treat, as opposed to something that's simply there because you can't get anywhere else and get some food, then you're starting with a problem then very, very early.
I went to the Vitality show and I presented in front of a number of consumers with a nutritionist and a fitness trainer, and we talked a little bit about the myths around bariatric surgery, and there was the myth around, is surgery a quick fix, which a lot of people think, and I'm pretty sure you're going to tell me otherwise.
I think surgery, firstly, is always the last resort. It is always the last resort. Most patients that we see will have a history of swing diet. We call it swing dieting. So they'll have lost weight, as you already described, and then put the weight back on later. And they've tried and tried and tried, to the point whereby they get so big that actually the body works against them. And now the body, if they do lose weight, is telling them that actually they should be back at the weight that they were started at, and so the body works against you at that point. At which point, the predictor is it's very, very difficult then through diet and exercise alone. Some people can do it, but they're quite rare, and you need something to give you a hand, and that's basically what the bariatric procedure then does, is it gives you a hook to hang your hat on.
Andy, if I was looking for bariatric surgery, how would I go about finding a good quality clinic?
Probably the best way is on the internet. There's an organisation called the National Institute of Obesity Programme Practice Standards, NIOPS, that's there to help you. And essentially you want to know the results of that clinic with that surgeon and that team that are going to look after you. Not something that's been done in Australia or America or even another clinic in the UK. You want to know what that clinic has done and what their results are. And that's probably the best way of doing it.
If you want to find out any more information about this, go on to myfacemybody.com. But it's now time to hit the streets. The My Face My Body crew decided to do a bit of research in Liverpool and find out what Northerners thought about their appearance and what prevented them from walking into a cosmetic clinic.
The things that have bothered me is like my height, and I'm a bit small, and probably my weight, just like keeping toned and in shape.
I've got facial scars. I was burnt when I was a little girl, so the scars have always bothered me from being 4.5 years old.
Aesthetically wise, I think my weight bothers me a little bit, and my feet.
I think the barriers to coming into a clinic probably the cost of it, if people had the expense to do it.
Yeah, I think cost would be quite an issue. To walk into a clinic, yeah.
It is expensive, and you can't, on the NHS, I got mine done on the NHS, I didn't have to pay because mine was medical. But there are a lot of people who, even if it's not medical, it is their serious self-esteem, and it is really important.
I don't think people are vain if they get surgery, because it's helping them live the life. If they're insecure about something, it's just making them more confident with themselves.
I think if something's good, go for it. If it helps you to feel better, go for it.